Note for the start of this, I'm too lazy to go back and re-record the intro every time, so this week's is Lionhead and Umbrakan, which is not what it's going to say here now. One of the most useful things you can do every week is finish your Hall of Illusion, especially on Nightmare, for a few reasons. There are lower difficulties, but in Nightmare, you're guaranteed a second set of runes. Additionally, you get the 5% chance of one of these high-tier accessories. That does mean only once every about 6 weeks on average will you get one, but it is still very much worth doing to try to get that. And so with that, and all of the new players coming on board from several sources, I thought I would help make a updated guide for beating each Hall of Illusion. With that, I'm going with a very common class so that everybody can kind of relate as to what to do. I'm doing an Invocator. This is my alternate character, so I don't really have good stuff, and I don't main Invocator at all. I have the Foci Staff, which is a tier 2. It is good because of the species damage boost, but otherwise it's nothing too terribly special. And I have the Healer Wand, because I do play healer here and there, just to fill a slot in dungeons. So my weapons aren't great. My armor set's nothing special. I do have a heroic helmet, but only level 8. Hellfire Cloak, 2-piece Brute. I'll pause on these for a second if you want to see traits or whatever. I have 2-piece Imperial, because like I said, I don't main Invocator, and this is the right set for what I do main, which is Eradicator, actually. And then I just have a generic, well, not generic, but a Nebula necklace, but tier 2. A generic tank bracelet. I do have 2 really good rings from the Hall of Illusion. Band of Brutal Agony, which actually that one might have came from the guild. And then Ring of Fractured Growth. So I do have a really good ring. Teardrops, which is a very common drop in an open dungeon. And just my Path of Ascension belt. So nothing special here. As for my weapon mastery, my staff is level 190 or 191. This is how I have it set up. The most important pieces for new players who don't know Invocator very well, Mana Ball Salvo is very important. Other than that, everything else is kind of just nice. This one's very nice. This one's useless. This one's very nice, along with the species damage boost to power it up or to activate it. This one helps a lot. And then your mana regen, because mana is always an issue. And then your power surge for max damage. And then every weapon has one, most of them have 2 nodes that give you an extra attribute point. This one gives you wisdom, and this one gives you strength. On the wand, it's only 150. You've got these 2 that are very important. Corrupting Hit, that's very important. And you can actually get away with not using this one and only using this if you know it's night. But I believe Hall of Illusion, it counts as day. I'm not certain, so I just use both active. You need self-healing, so I don't have this active now. Your other option, if your weapon doesn't have self-healing, is the Void Stalker tier 2 set. With that, you can get a lot of self-healing. Then the other things here on the wand, this is really important, this is really important, and this one's kind of crucial. You really need to have this one with the wand on Invocator to do damage. And then everything else is just kind of there. But of course you can pause and copy these. I do have more overall weapon mastery skill than you might have if you're a newer player, in which case you would just take the 4 that you can get for the combat power. This one of course helps a lot for attribute points, and the poison helps with Curse Explosion. So that's my build, nothing special. You should be able to get to its damage output fairly quickly. Your Path of Ascension probably isn't as powerful as this, but as you build up towards your best in slot stuff, you very well could get there. So with that, let's jump into this week's Hall of Illusion. This week's Hall of Illusion is Lionhead and Umbrakan. This is the simplest Hall of Illusion. Arguably, because it's the simplest, that makes it the easiest, but interestingly, it can also be the most frustrating. With Umbrakan, you have to hit your Q blocks, and if you don't, you will die. Lionhead actually isn't too bad with the mechs, super simple, but most importantly, his health is the lowest, I believe, of all of the Hall of Illusion bosses, so it won't be long, and you'll be able to just attack him and kill him without worrying about the mechanics. Other than that, this is a fairly simple, altogether Hollow Illusion. As for skills, you don't need anything special, so I have my regular just damage output skill bar, so nothing special like last week's. So with that, let's jump into it. Okay, for this boss, Lionhead, it is very similar to the lower tier for the mechanics. You still have to touch the pillars to the guy so that they get tethered. But before you do that, you have to unlock the pillar by blocking his blue orbs that are trying to attack them. And that, it's pretty straightforward. Don't touch the things on the ground because they stun you, and just stay in the middle and continue to attack him. The biggest trick is watching for when he's going to do his attack orbs towards the pillar. So I'm going to start attacking here. I'll probably, whoops, I did that backwards, but get your Q blocks as you can. There is a point where he will do a jump attack that you want to jump avoid. I'll get some damage off here, I think. Oh, I missed that. That's okay. And I landed inside the stun. Again, you can just stay in the middle because he's going to come back if you don't want to chase him. Okay, then you're going to watch for him. I'm going to look for it. He sends these out. You have this blue one. You have to press Q on. I missed it that time. The two red ones don't really matter. It's the blue one that matters that you need to get your Q block on. Because I'm talking and not paying attention, I'm not getting my blocks in. Let's heal up a little bit. Yeah, it should be soon. Looking for it. Yep, it's over here. So I want to come over here. And I want to Q block that blue one. And it blows up so that this is now free. You see how the other two are like glowing yellow, and this one's not glowing yellow? So this pillar will be able to, I'll be able to tether the guy. Because I missed one of them, I'm gonna have to pretty much make sure to get the other one. Otherwise it'll probably kill me. It may kill me anyway, we'll see. I'm not sure, but let's get him to that point here. I believe it's, oh nope, it's this one that he's gonna shoot at. Okay, so now these two are free. That one I didn't get, so that one's gonna do a bunch of damage to me. Or he's gonna do a bunch of damage to me because of that one. Let's get some damage in here. The stun animation doesn't seem to be playing correctly. That's an interesting new bug. And like I said, it probably won't be long. Oh, there's your jump when he pulls that in. Okay, so I'm struggle busting on this. So connect those two. Connect those two. Oh, come on. Did it connect? I think so. I'm not gonna be able to do that one. Now,
this is how you die.
He's gonna do a good chunk of damage, but I was able to survive it. So you want to get those three pillars blocked with that blue orb. That's your main mech. But like I said, his health is actually pretty low overall. I mean, I really haven't been attacking him hard, and he's 75% of the way dead. So let's just go ahead and finish this fight. So you may be able to just attack him and not worry about the mech at all, depending on where your gear progression is. Oh, I missed it. Oh yeah, so there he's sending them. And again, they don't really matter. I wonder if the red ones actually, never tested this, if the red ones, you block those so that the pillar does less damage to you, that might be a thing. It's just a guess. Alright, next floor. Okay, this particular floor starts off right away. So you got to get your attacks in here, which I don't have a good AoE setup with this class, so this is going to be kind of hard in terms of that. You definitely want your AoE if you have AoE. So before you come to this level, after you beat the first boss, you may switch your skill bar or your build. Oh, come on. There we go. Matter of fact, after this fight, because if it's taking so long, I may just do that. Okay, so here we have two different ones. Explosive Curse and Chain Doll. Generally, Chain Doll is your best option. Explosive Curse isn't too bad. Okay, so now I have my AoE Spear Staff. Of course, if you continue with the Invocator, just do your AoE bar. I just don't have one set up, and this isn't too bad. So Explosive Curse, the dwarves are going to blow up after you kill them, so you need to continue to run away from them. Chain Doll, however, if you get that option, that's your best. Let me show you why. It's going to pop up this doll, and it's going to chain everybody into the center here. And then it stuns them, and you can just unload on everybody in your AoE. And now they're all dead. Really fast. Okay. Steam Tempest is probably my least favorite these days, maybe. It's going to spawn 4 steam lifters. So if you stand in it or the dwarf stand in it, it lifts them up into the air. And then they will take fall damage, and if you glide morph down, you won't. So it's not the worst, but it's kind of hard to lure them into it. So I don't prefer that one. Explosive Curse, however, like I said, when they die, they will blow up, hurting everybody around them. So you have to keep your distance here. Okay, so let's kill this guy. Okay, now look for the explosion. There it is. And it may only be some of the dwarves, actually. Oh, the other thing I didn't mention is the dwarves, if you don't kill them fast enough, they will spawn these healing totems. And so you either have to kill the healing totems before the dwarves, or what I do is I'll just run away from it, pulling the dwarves away from the healing totems, and then kill them after that. Oh, there's the... You can block that explosion, which you probably want to do because it does a good chunk of damage. We're going to blow that up. Okay, so these two, again, Steam Tempest, same thing. Zone of Pain is going to put an AoE around you that does a good chunk of damage. So this one's not bad. On the final, which I forget where I'm at now, on the final set of dwarves, there's going to be a dwarf commander that always spawns directly in front of you. You want to prioritize him because he will stun you a lot. And if you can stun him or sleep him with your Invocator, that's not a bad idea. Steam Tempest can be good for the commander because it will push him up into the air and he can't stun you in those situations. I'm going to do the Zone of Pain anyway. I don't think it's the dwarf commander yet. Yeah, no. Oh, no, it is. He spawns slightly later. So there, he pushed me out of the way and kind of stunned me. So I'm going to focus on the commander. If I can get my block off. There we go. Commander's dead. Again, that fight is much harder if you're lower geared because he takes a lot of damage and he will push you around and stun you a lot. I'm going to lure all the dwarves away from the healing totems. Okay. And once you kill the last one, the healing totems die because it's ready for the next level. I'm going to go and switch back to my Invocator here. Alright, back on the Invocator for the last boss. You might want to actually grab stamina, depending on your stamina level. You may want to grab health. His damage along the way, as long as you don't stand in his poison, isn't too bad, but you have to get your Q blocks. You'll see stacks up on him. Matter of fact, I might do this with mouse so I can point it out. I'll just go ahead and start the fight here. Of course, I'm adding stacks to him, just shooting at him. Okay, you see this stack right here that's 1? Oh, I missed the block. You need that to get to 7. And in order to get that to 7, you have to hit your Q blocks. So right here, now he's at 2. I missed 2, and I think you can only miss 2. It might be... Oh, now I'm pretty sure I'm going to die. It might be 3, if so, I might be okay. I'm not particularly good with the Q blocks. You also want to stay close to him and then try to be behind him. So as long as you get your Q blocks, even if it's just defense, it should be okay. Now he's at 5. I need 7 stacks. And I'm just going to auto attack him. I'm at 6. Oh, nope. I didn't get my 7, so you can only miss 2. And he kills you. Surviving that is very difficult. It is technically possible, but unlikely. That's all you have to do, though, is just get your Q block. So I'm going to go ahead and take stamina again. And you will eventually get to the point where you can just kill him before he does his mech. So you don't have to worry about the Q blocks. But until then, focus on your Q blocks and less so on damage. Oh, I missed that one. And less so on the damage in the first parts. I find if I continuously move, it's easier to hit these Q blocks because then I'm already moving for the Q block. Some of them are faster, some of them are slower, so you kind of have to watch his animation and you'll get used to which one it is. It's hard to hit it too early though. There's only a few that you end up hitting too early, but as long as you're standing still. There we go. So since I got the 7 stacks, he jumps over here and he's stunned. And now I can... Oh, let's do that order. Now I can unload on him. So depending on your DPS, you'll probably only have to do that once or twice. In this case, because I didn't unload with him on the first time. These ones don't matter in terms of his stacks. He won't get stacks from them. Or he does, he gets the 9, but they reset anyway. So those ones you don't have to get when he's just in the center there. Oh, I missed that one because I wasn't moving. That's his fast one when he takes his left hand and swipes. But yeah, all you have to do is get your perfect blocks 7 times. He does 9 purple attacks of some sort, so you can miss 2 of them and still be okay. But if you miss a third, he will kill you. Again, you can technically survive it if you're tanky enough. I'm just going to go ahead and get it one more time here. Now he's going to jump and be stunned, and then I can unload on him. And that is it. So it's super simple, but if you can't get your Q blocks, it's very difficult. So it can be very frustrating. Especially as you're learning, like, the timing of all of his Q blocks. Again, these ones don't matter so much other than for damage. And running out of stamina, that was kind of a mistake, but I'm going to kill him before anyway. So once you get him to this point, you don't really have to worry about it. You can just kill him. Just focus on damage so that you kill him before he does his 9. Oh, he moved. And there you go. That's it. So he's super simple, but again, if you can't hit your Q blocks, it can be very frustrating. But that's all there is. So this week I got more Fortitude coins.